The morning sun cast long shadows across the dusty farmland as Jake wiped the sweat from his brow. His red flannel shirt was already damp from hours of working in the fields, and the old tractor behind him had given him nothing but trouble all week. Times were hard, the drought had damaged most of his crops, and the bank had been calling about overdue payments. But Jake had learned long ago that complaining wouldn't fix anything. Hard work and persistence were all he had. As he bent over his tractor's engine once more, trying to coax life back into the aging machine, the sound of a car engine sputtering in the distance caught his attention. Jake looked up to see a sleek silver sedan pulling over to the side of the rural road, smoke beginning to rise from under its hood. A young woman stepped out, her long blonde hair catching the morning light. She was dressed in an elegant beige dress that clearly cost more than Jake made in a month, and she held her phone high in the air, desperately searching for a signal. Even from a distance, Jake could see the worry etched across her face. Without hesitation, Jake wiped his hands on his jeans and walked over to the stranded vehicle. "Car trouble," he called out, his voice carrying the gentle warmth that came naturally to him. The woman looked up, startled. Up close, Jake could see she was probably in her mid-20s, with perfectly manicured nails and makeup that suggested she was far from home. "Oh, thank goodness someone's here," she said, relief flooding her voice. "My car just started smoking, and I can't get any cell service out here." "Let me take a look," Jake offered, already moving toward the open hood. "I'm Jake, by the way." "Emma," she replied, watching as he began examining the engine with practiced hands. "I'm supposed to be in the city for an important meeting, but I took a wrong turn somewhere and ended up on this back road." Jake nodded, focusing on the problem at hand. After a few minutes of careful inspection, he diagnosed the issue. "Your radiator hose has burst, and you're low on coolant. It's fixable, but not something you can drive with." Emma's face fell. "How long will it take to fix? I really need to get to that meeting." "Well," Jake said thoughtfully, "I've got some spare parts back at my workshop that might work. It'll take me about an hour to fix it properly. But if this meeting is really important, I could drive you into town myself. My truck's old, but it runs." Emma stared at him in disbelief. Here was a complete stranger, clearly struggling himself based on the condition of his equipment and clothes, offering to help her without asking for anything in return. In her world of corporate dealings and calculated relationships, such genuine kindness was rare. "You'd really do that for a stranger?" she asked quietly. Jake shrugged, a modest smile crossing his weathered face. "My mama always taught me that we're all just walking each other home. Sometimes you need help, sometimes you give it. That's how the world works." As Jake worked on her car, Emma found herself watching this man who had dropped everything to help her. She noticed the patches on his flannel shirt, the careful way he treated each tool as if it were precious, and the genuine concern in his eyes when he explained what was wrong with her engine. "You know a lot about cars," Emma observed. "Had to learn," Jake replied, not looking up from his work. "Can't afford to take everything to the shop when you're farming. You learn to fix what breaks, make do with what you have." "It must be hard," Emma said softly, "working the land, especially with the weather being so unpredictable lately." Jake paused in his work and looked at her with surprise. Most city folks didn't understand the challenges farmers faced. "It is," he admitted. "But there's something honest about it. You work hard, treat the land right, and hope for the best. Even when times are tough, there's dignity in it." As Jake finished the repair, Emma found herself thinking about her own life. She was rushing to a meeting where she'd be negotiating the acquisition of several small farms for her father's development company. Farms probably just like Jake's. The irony wasn't lost on her. "All done," Jake announced, closing the hood and wiping his hands. "Should get you where you need to go." Emma reached for her purse. "What do I owe you for the parts and your time?" Jake waved her off. "Don't worry about it. Just glad I could help." "Please," Emma insisted. You've been so kind, and I know times are hard. Let me pay you something. Tell you what, Jake said with a grin, next time you're driving through farm country and see someone who needs help, you stop and lend a hand. That's payment enough for me. Emma felt tears prick her eyes. She pulled out a business card and handed it to him. I'm Emma Harrison. If you ever need anything at all, please call me. Jake glanced at the card, his eyes widening slightly as he read the name. Harrison Development Corporation. He'd heard of them, they were the ones buying up farmland all over the state. But he just smiled and tucked the card into his shirt pocket. Drive safe, Emma Harrison, he said simply. As Emma drove away, she couldn't stop thinking about Jake's kindness. When she finally reached her meeting, she made a decision that would surprise everyone in the conference room. Instead of discussing acquisitions, she proposed a new initiative, a program to provide low-interest loans and support to struggling family farms. 3 months later, Jake received an unexpected visitor. Emma Harrison stood on his front porch, but this time she was wearing jeans and boots, her hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. I came to see if you'd consider being the first recipient of our new farm assistance program, she said, smiling. Turns out, sometimes helping a stranger changes everything. Jake's kindness had planted a seed that grew into something beautiful, proof that one act of genuine compassion can ripple outward in ways we never imagine, touching lives and changing the world one heart at a time.